Hi there and welcome back to our third Rome Let's Roleplay. Muscovy, or maybe later Russia if we're lucky. So, last time I said we wanted to look into the trade, but we are also, this is also a historical role-playing experience. And I want to talk to you about our Grand Kniaz Vasiliy II. And why we're not playing like he was himself, in the history. Why aren't we taking the historical decisions he made? Now, first thing is he is careful here in game, and you can't start over and over. And he will have these two things: careful and intricate web weaver. And we want to have an alternate history here, and it has to be said, he was kind of a hothead in his youth. So shortly after he really came to power in Muscovy, he just charged head first into Kazan, got his head bloodied, and in I think 46 or 47, he lost against them and was blinded, like he had done to a leader of the Kazan people. And further on, he was known as Vasiliy II the Blind. And that was when he really became an administrator, trying to keep the country together and to tend to his vassals. And we are not, as this is an alternate history, we're not going to do the same, what I consider as a mistake. Probably it wasn't a mistake at the time, it wasn't seeable as a mistake. And it was a mix of territorial and family and also faith reasons that led him to this sort of crusade maybe against Kazan. And he was also a very religious man, which can be seen because later on, in 1472, Muscovy introduced the old Byzantine symbols as the heraldry of the you cannot really say dukedom or something, because it didn't see itself as a dukedom. You just have to go with the name of Kniaz. Or please, anyone who is maybe Russian could tell me or send me to a place where I can learn how to speak that. How to really speak that. And you can also see that there is a great deal of relations going on. Who is of the same dynasty? It's Ivan from Odoyev, which is just south of here. Then we have Ivan Fyodorovich from Ryazan, which is here. Then we have Boris from Tver, which is here. And the Vasiliy III, not called here because we have another heir too. So Vasiliy III actually married someone from Tver, a Sophia with roots in Constantinople. So she was a cousin of the Constantinople emperor. She was from Tver, and she married the ruler of Muscovy then. So let's see again. Yeah. So that was another claim that led Muscovy to integrate the heraldry of Constantinople into their flags and their signs. So who else is there? There is Alexander Brukharty from Yaroslavl here. Yaroslavl is one of our vassals that are still loyal, and we should really see to it that it stays that way. That's why we're building all these armies. And then we've got Mikhail from below zero. That's a name I really love. I always think the temperature here is below 0 in Celsius all the time. It's kind of a mad thing, but I always have that association. It's in below 0. Oh my god, it's a cold country. It's definitely cold, but it's predominantly a forest, as you can see here. So what else do we have? Vladimir from Rostov. I believe it's called Rostov, not Rostov, as you spell it, but it's Rostov. And they also love us. They love us, and that's our vessel. So all our vessels basically are led by people that are relatives of us. And now you have to look at Lithuania. Where can we see that? Where can we see their rule? Yeah. So Lithuania here. Grand Duke Kazimierz Jagiellon is actually someone who, so to say, defeated the grandfather of our current wife, of Maria. So the country of origin here is Yaroslavl, but in the historical Vasiliy II, he married a princess from Lithuania, and her grandfather was like, I think he was called, oh my god, yeah, correct me, Viatauskas or something. And he was like sort of a legendary ruler because he ruled very, very long. But I believe in the Civil War he finally lost, and he was very old then. So that was the reason he probably lost. That he was already quite old, and he couldn't defeat them. So, and that's why there's so many Orthodox people there still. Because they're from the same dynasty, so the Eastern Dynasty. But the Eastern Dynasty lost and the Catholic Dynasty came to power. And that's what they're doing at the moment. They're trying to eliminate our great Orthodox faith from Lithuania. So to join the Catholic bloc. Here. That's why all of this is in stripes in the religious map. So that's one of the things why we chose Lithuania as a rival. I mean, if we would go for history, we would certainly go for Kazan as a rival. And we may do that later on, but not yet. Not to piss them off further, so to say. Because we first want to bring some sort of calm superiority to our country, as we don't have the diplomatic power for more relations, really. Otherwise, we would probably take Ryazan and Odoyev under our wings, but we can do that later on. They're historical friends, but we just don't have the diplomats to do that. We're not that good. We're not that good. So that's about the historical ties of Vasiliy II. And why are we not doing as he did and storm into Kazan? It's because Muscovy is a little bit fragile. I mean, we're superior from the army point of view, but with all our vessels, if we lose a lot of army, we'll lose these vessels, and it just doesn't make sense to lose these vessels. They're better here as some sort of safeguarding until we can integrate them into our country. I think that's a much better place to be in for us than actually the place Vasiliy II, or like from 1446, Vasiliy the Blind was in. So let's see. Let's now look at the trade we have. We're trading in the White Sea. Let's see, where is that? That's here. There's a port here. There's some trade value here. Let's look at the trade map too. So we have access to the White Sea that is, yeah, not really direct. I mean, we could have like a trade center in Kazan. That would definitely be a motivation to march into there. Kazan or Kiev. That's in Lithuania. So we have an inland center of trade. So that would definitely be something to claim later on, once we have stabilized the country. So we don't have to trade through the White Sea. At all anymore. Like, this is transferring to Novgorod, but I believe we could we just I mean, is it... I'm not really good at the trade things. I think it seems to me that it would be much better just collecting here in Kazan. Right? I mean, we're transferring trade power over here, which leads to us being terrible at collecting trade. So we'll just try out what happens. We'll collect from trade instead here. And we'll see how much we can earn there. In the next month. I think it should be more collected. So that's what we want to do here. Now we can look at the geopolitical situation. The Ottomans even don't know us, which is good for us right now. Then we have the great European powers. I don't know if you can still see who is lucky and who is not. It was always visible in the trade centers, where you could have here in the Champagne, where you could look at the modifiers and then see, oh, someone's lucky. He's got a modifier. I believe that doesn't work anymore, right? Seems to not work anymore. Or, some bad luck. Ming has a luck modifier, and then someday Ming will come and greet us from the east and say, hey, hello, I heard you've got a little realm there. Can we have it? Can we have it? So we're going to continue here. We have long-time rivals, which improves our power projection. And we have to see if we'll integrate Kazan into this. We're still in the plus. Our advisors are doing pretty well. And what we want to do now is we'll wait for some kind of chance, and we'll prepare for that chance. We'll improve relations now in Tver, because that's our mission. Get it to 100. Let's see. Humiliate rivals. Yes. That's what we really wanted to do. Marriage offer from Yaroslavl. Now Yaroslavl is, I think, one of our relatives and vassals, so yeah, why not? I mean, our legitimacy will change by -5, but it should be good in the course of it's something like we would have done from a roleplay point of view. Of course, if your cousin comes asking, you say yes. I've got a nice daughter, and yeah, my Grand Kniaz. Yeah, we're the Grand Kniaz. Yeah, that's the difference. I mean, look at Yaroslavl. I think they only have a Kniaz. Yes, we are the Grand Kniaz. Ordoyev has joined a trade league led by Novgorod, which also means Ordoyev No, it's just, well... So they are friends with Novgorod now, at least for the trade league, but it's not that harsh. I mean, it's not that harsh for us because we're not really traders. Let's see. Oh my god. I mean, we're collecting more, but we're also losing a lot at the moment. So a lot of Rostov wants to enter the royal marriage. Yes, of course, they're also our vassal. We have a relation with them already, so same goes for below zero. Let's go. And if we might lose our heir, we'll be in a good position. Now, why are we losing so much? It's because we're paying the army so much at the moment. We'll just take this down a peg. Like, so that they're not instantly losing. Fleet, we don't have fleet. We could root out corruption. We could, but let it stand at the moment. So, if we let it at this point, we're still kind of ready for something. And we're making a plus, so we're going to do that. So it's going to be like a merry place we're in at the moment. Then there's some new things here that we have to look in. It's we could consecrate a metropolitan. We have no metropolitan here yet in Moscow. We could consecrate one in the state of Moscow, which is probably the best to have. It would give us patriarch authority and will increase the state maintenance. Now, what can you do with patriarch authority? That's here. So we have 0 patriarch authority. If you have enough patriarch authority, which is 10, you can select an icon, which helps in turn your country. We could go from St. Michael, the warrior, basically, the commander. Then Virgin Mary, like, is the motherly love. Icon of Christ, the Pantocrator, which is like probably building the kingdom of Christ on earth. And St. Nicholas, improving relations. It's probably the wonder worker and bearer of gifts. St. John Climacus, the ladder of the divine ascent, has inspired generations of Orthodox Christians by describing how to strive towards the divine, to asceticism, and a pious life. I was really looking for something which would help us convert the Sunni part of our empire, that one province. Institution embracement cost. Decrease and institution spread. So I'd probably look for something like improve relations. This guy, or the Pantocrator here, this guy. At first to stabilize us. And I think we're just going to consecrate a metropolitan in the state of Moscow, because that's what we would definitely do. Because it's our capital state. Then we could also go for the more closer states here. We have the state of Tver here, but that is probably not something that we should do. We have Vladimir. And how about, let's look at another map mode here. Want the metropolitans viewed and the estates, and probably the states. Like, where was that? Come on. Yeah, that's I tend to get a little bit lost in this. Go for states and territories here. It's the state of Moscow. That's the state of Sostal. Here, Galish, Zostal is quite a big state. And an influential one. So we could go and consecrate another metropolitan there. Giving us more authority. Monthly devastation goes down too. But not more. And then we could theoretically select an icon. So, in the view of us being like preparing to unite the country, to then be ready to confront our great rivals, what should we choose? Probably the icon of Christ the Pantocrator would be something. Depicts the all-powerful Christ, mild yet stern. It is one of the most popular religious images in our church and is often seen painted inside the central dome of a church. Then we have St. Nicholas. The wonder worker or the bearer of gifts is one of the earliest Christian saints and appears on many icons as an elderly man with a white beard. And the ladder of the divine ascent, striving towards the divine. It's maybe a little early for that. It's first about uniting the nation. Then uniting the faith. Icon of St. Michael would be definitely the thing if we would go for a quick war, which we are not going. So we're going for the most popular religion, one of the most popular religious images, the icon of Christ the Pantocrator. It will cost us 10 patriarch authority, but give the icon for 20 years. We're sure. So let's see. Has anything changed here? No. We cannot just convert. So there's that. Our religious unity is okay. Not stellar because yeah, we need to convert Kazimov. If we can do that somehow, that would be great. We also have to look at an edict. Maybe first here. It would lead to another increase in state maintenance. But what would be good for us here? I mean, local trade power would be good. Missionary strength, but that wouldn't be enough here. Encourage development would be something we would go for, because one of our goals as administrators would be to develop our capital, which is Moscow. And that is also one of the goals in the Age of Discovery, to hold a large city. So we're going to encourage development in Moscow. The state of Moscow. There we go. That's probably enough for now here. And we can like concentrate on developing this state now. Like, could spend some military power to improve the manpower by +1, giving us quite a lot of manpower. That would be not too bad. Not too bad. Could also, like, to do this, we also first look the technology. We have no tech penalty, no tech bonus. So we could theoretically go for that already. Develop our capital state a bit. It wouldn't be bad, I'm sure. Increase our income. Increase our military power. And later we could go for more administrative power spent. But that is something to do that we can instantly do. Would change our level here. As you can see here, whoop, we have that in the... We can work forward to a large city now. And that would really bring us something in Moscow because, yeah, our capital city is, of course, very important. Brings us a lot of tax, a lot of production, all in all. And it is the most important for manpower. So to concentrate on that is very valuable. I hope I'm not talking too much. Probably I am. And at the start of the game, it's always not waiting for something, but looking at what can you do? What would be like the plan to do? And our plan is to keep control of our vassals so that they don't break free, and to finally overtake them, so we are free to go for more diplomatic relations. Power projection is going on very well. And as soon as we have another rival, we might consider, I mean, Kazan, they desire a lot of our provinces, but it shouldn't be too bad. Look at that. Now we have to look at our subjects again. Let's see. Now the liberty desire has decreased massively because we have increased the army, and we still have some free reign to increase our army here. See, we have still like 5 force limit that we could use, and maybe we're building this army. Maybe let's build another infantry here, and maybe another cavalry here, and then we'll fill the coffers a bit. And look at our mission. Improve relations with Tver. I hope we can do that. Over 100, it should be possible. Just like that. We might go in for something else later. Like something else besides improve relations, but for now it's definitely okay. Look, their independence is already guaranteed by Novgorod. They're not waiting. They now have a lot of relations, I guess. At the start they have no relations, so if you're going for an instant war against Novgorod, that is definitely something to consider, but you have to wait a month, so they'll start to have a lot of relations then. In theory, like it was earlier on in EU4, you would just start a war, like these legendary starts here on, like, we have the Papal State. Let's annihilate Urbino. Like that was the Urbino War early on. Let's see. Oh, whoa. Our monthly balance is bad. Should decrease the army maintenance a little bit more. Yeah, look at that. That has increased our income by a lot. Of course, our trade influence isn't that high, but we should be okay in time. Look, our administrative power is rising, and we're using that to invest into Moscow. So our first goal, to get a large city, is coming closer for us. And as we're administrators by heart, or at least like the Grand Kniaz is compared to his other really bad values, and his wife is it's kind of good to go for that. Those underhanded rogues in Novgorod have the goal to claim Besetsk as their own. Though their claim is obviously spurious, it's still enough to justify war if they wish it. But we don't have to be afraid of them, I think. We have improved our army to a great size. And they have really no allies to help them, so we should be fine in that respect. See to it that we will get our improved relation quickly, and then we'll improve more relations, or maybe go for more marriages, or maybe even develop a spy network here. Because they're really going for a lot of claims here. That is really annoying of Novgorod. Just going to wait a bit. I think we should be fine in the future. Oh, look at that. We have like, oh, we're losing men here. In Nizhny Novgorod. Cannot support this, eh? Well then, we'll have to split up, I guess. Ah. Create new unit. We'll give you, I don't know, for 5,000 of this and 2 cavalries. Select you, and we could position you like maybe here, behind there. So we can still save the border to Kazan, because they're an enemy as well. For the others, we have this army. Oh, let's have a look again. We still have that glorious leader here. Dmitry Shemyaka, currently as unassigned. He's a really good leader with his foreshock. Just superior. Now we have improved relations with Tver. Give us more diplomatic reputation, which will help us in all kinds of things. The rival of our rival. Hungary. They want to... can we do that? I mean, Hungary... They have +9 with us. Enemy of enemy. That wouldn't be a bad thing. To have a good relation with them. It would definitely be enough to improve relations with them. Would it give us something like 5 prestige, 25 development? It's not bad. Reclaim Velsk. Yes, Velsk. That is a province that is really a province we want to claim. Because there's one of our cores here. And it is an important province for us. Like it doesn't have much to look for here, because the autonomy was increased to 75% by Novgorodians, but it's a good province all in all, and we would really reclaim that. But I think we're better off with something like that. Our manpower reserves need to recover. What are our manpower reserves? Wow, that is going to last forever, right? If we gain 202 each month, and we need to go to 22,000, that's going to be roughly 110 months. That is 10 years there, or not 10 years, but 9 years might be something, but it is going to last longer than this one. It would give us a really good effect, though. And it's an effect, like recovering economy, that would be liked by our people, like our ruler and his wife. So that might be something we could go for. The rival of our rival. Hungary is probably not that important to us. It's far away. I mean, we would just go for our manpower reserves need to recover. I think it's helpful in the long run, and it definitely fits our country's claim to reunite. While doing all that, we should keep some points in reserve, of course, but... Oh, now, nobles demand old rights. One of our first decisions. The nobility during this period still recalled the days when the king was just the first among many nobles. The nobility wanted to return to those days, and would frequently pressure the king to regain certain lost rights of privileges. Wow, now most of the nobles are our relatives. I mean, we could defend the rights of the nobility, and the boyars gain loyalty. The autonomy change is going to rise. I don't really like that. We could reject the demands for one stability to have a reformed government still. I think we should do that. We have administrators that don't believe in that old system, even though absolutely they have really not very good skills in administrative. They are thinking administratively, like, because that's their strength compared to the others. So we'll reject the demands. And we'll try to boost the stability quickly again. Yeah, it's kind of hard a bit, but on the other hand, it's okay. We have like enough administrative power. That's not a problem for us at all. We could even discuss to go further into this. Also, do we really need more improved relations with Tver? I don't really think so. We should return home. Oh, can be improved by 23 more. Yes, now that we can wait for that. And then we'll send him over to Novgorod for some spy actions, because we're also, like, our rulers are also intricate web weavers, and we should use that. We have a liturgical reform. The Eastern Orthodox Church is the one Holy, Catholic and Apostolic Church established by Jesus Christ our Lord and his apostles. However, our family is large and diverse. Our Patriarch is proposing some reforms to our liturgy that will bring our form closer to the other churches. The idea is bold and will strengthen the Church, but we know that the superstitious and backward will reject this change. Now we're sorts of like administrators, and also the historical Grand Kniaz, after his being beaten down by Kazan, was quite a wise ruler, like a more progressive ruler maybe, for that time, of course. We could support the reform, or we could hold true to the old ways, but I think we will support the reform, because he's really thinking also of being the new Constantinople, and so we should unite the church further. We'll support the reform. Being defender of the faith is far off still, but maybe we'll get there one day. See to it we can further develop Moscow. Kazan declared war upon their new enemy Nogile. Trouble food. Now this would be normally, I would probably hit on Kazan right now. Declare war on them, and even if they're allied with the Timurids that are far off here, we would probably beat them down. But we're trying to do something here. That is the plan, to unite the country first. And I think we're going to do that with spending some more diplomatic power here for Moscow, and also some military power. Maybe reach our goal of Grand Moscow as the replacement of the falling Constantinople. Could become like a big symbol for the East. Now we have become one of the great powers. The rest of the world shall tremble at the sound of our might, and the glory of Moscow shall soar about the horizons far and wide. We have new diplomatic actions. Let's see. I'm really curious, because I haven't played U4 since the great powers were introduced. We take on foreign debt, influence the nation, intervene in war, break the alliance of something. Influencing the nations would be really good, probably for our people here, like Odoyev or something like that. That would be what we would go for. Let's see. And we would also like to, of course, annex the vassal. But that is still kind of far away, and we should probably wait until our manpower has recovered until then. And then we can try to do that. So we're starting in a different way than the Vasiliy II would have done. We're kind of peaceful, and we're trying to control what we already have, because we might lose it otherwise. Look at that. Look at our subjects. They're tame, I would say, right now. Oh, we discovered an agent. A diplomat from Novgorod. Yeah, we should make, probably with our... That one is free. We should send him to Novgorod to go for... some counter-espionage. Should be very, very soon. Can be improved by 0 more. Is he ready now? I believe they are... Yes, we will recall him. Oh. Piotr Barclay de Tolly. So, let's see. Some covert actions. First, we want probably counter-espionage. Or we could build a network of spies. I mean, we're web weavers. So we should probably build a network of spies there. And we'll see what we can do with that. If we are discovered, it will damage relations, but yeah, that no. We're not going to damage anything that is worthwhile here. Look at that. We're still improving. Yeah, that would have been a good choice too. But diplomatic reputation is also very nice. Look at that. We have a little bit of inflation. No, we don't have inflation. All right. The advancement of the clergy is happening to us. The power of the clergy has never relied on the state itself. Rather, it is in many ways the clergy who, through their ties to the spiritual realm, lend their legitimacy to the Grand Kniaz. A combination of deft political maneuvering, perceived bad omens, and generous donations from our subjects have lately cemented the power of this estate. Oh, the clergy gained some influence. Look at that. We're building fine power here. Now we can also improve our administration here again. And maybe some diplomatic power, military power. So we may reach that goal. I think we can game this also a bit. A large city with 30 development isn't really a bad goal to have. And it is definitely identifiable with our people. With our rulers. And it's also, from game standpoint, it's not bad. A panage holder dies. The Prince of Kostroma has died. And Vasiliy II Temny mourns the loss of a brother. At the current Grand Kniaz, we should now redistribute the lands that up until now was an appanage of the deceased. Our remaining brothers will no doubt expect to get a part of the land, but we could try to use this opportunity to increase the size of our own lands. We could confiscate the land, giving us 10 years of development cost goes down and local tax modifier in Kostroma. Where's Kostroma? We have to look. There's Kostroma. It's not currently held by an estate. Suzdal, Kostroma. Now only here the tax modifier would go down. We could gain 15 support for Oprichina and gain 5 legitimacy. I mean, our legitimacy is quite okay. The Boyars gain 10 loyalty, lose 10 loyalty. In large territories. But it is also a temporary effect. I mean, the case is we're administrators. And we probably think, like, according to the former decision, we should not distribute the land to the other nobles. So we get it in large territories. We'll choose that because we think we can develop it better than they could. So there we go. That's what we'll do. Will this lead us into unrest? Probably not yet. But we have to be consequent in this case. And we're developing Moscow still. More administrative power. Note that I'm always leaving like a 100, so in case something bad happens to stability, I want to be able to lift it again. So, and yeah, that's also new here. Let's look at that together. Oh, whoa! Look at that. We're incorruptible. We knew it. I mean, we're administrators now. Our yearly corruption goes down. Ruling Muscovite will give us yearly corruption minus 0.05, and this is very good at a very young age. Really, like more a refined ruler, not some brutal beat-down ruler. We're an intricate web weaver. We're careful and incorruptible. Our spy network is going along well, and yeah, we're building the relations with our subjects. We have that going for us. Let's see. We'll soon have a large city. Can see to if we can do it already. Some more military power. Diplomatic power. Yeah, totally evenly developed Moscow now. Our main trade city. And will bring us some splendor points regularly. So we could look if we could go for more centers of trade. Should we discover America? I think this is highly unlikely, but to have something there, and Moscow, of course, the Constantinople of the East, so to say, is definitely very good. We could be present on 2 continents. That is something that we could reach if we would go into that direction, or into the direction of Kazan. I think we're in Europe now, and we could humiliate a rival. That could be easily done later on. So we still have some time to do that. I think we have done well this time so far. It is kind of not very eventful at the moment. But we're definitely going along fine. Like, the state maintenance is a bit high. That's because we're concentrating on Moscow and the Moscow region to develop it. Of course, we have a reduction now in Kostroma as well. Should see to that. We could develop Kostroma. As you can see here, we have the icon, and we have enlarged territories. So, I mean, wood is bad for that, but in theory, we could develop Kostroma now. And it would be like the thing to do, definitely too, because we were deciding into that direction, so we could go for that. Now, the thing is, to develop us more here, we should maybe go... yeah, we can only be consecrated in states with at least 30 development, so we should develop it. And we'll encourage the development here too. I think that can be done, and that is in turn with, like, for at least 12 months, for an increase in state maintenance by 200%. We're sure. So we'll look at Kostroma. Again, the only control we have over Kostroma is Kostroma, so the state of Yaroslavl now has that development. So they're being theoretically helped by this too, but well, I think it works that way. So our local development cost is down, and we'll definitely develop this with our administrative powers now. Otherwise we wouldn't have done this decision, right? 40. So when Moscow is developed, we can go for some other improvements here. Also in Moshaisk, very low. It's also encouraged development here. This costs us 50 power, but I believe in Kostroma it's even better because we have the icon, we have the encouraged development, and we have enlarged territory. So we should really spend anything that we have to develop our countries in Kostroma at the moment, and later on we can go back to Moscow, develop that estate, or that state. While we're stabilizing our country. And starting with 1454, we'll start to integrate some of our vessels. Probably we'll go for Pskov first. A diplomat from Lithuania was building a spy network. The terrible guy. That terrible guy. We've discovered him. So we're spending some administrative power on Kostroma. We'll see if we can build something here too. Like we could make it some kind of trade center. It's not directly at the border. So to build something though, we would have to have at least 4 technology. So we'll probably wait now until we have the technology for temples or something like that. Sweden is also building a spy network with us. That's worrying. We'll wait a bit now for the technologies, as they're starting to get reductions, and as development is important, also technology is a little bit important. So we'll wait a little bit, at least with these technologies. We definitely want an improved administrative technology, and once we're backward, the administrators say, yeah, we have to pick this up too. Influence nation on the Livonian order. All right. They are a grand power as well. So this should be... Oh, it is still possible to improve by 45 more. Yeah, we should definitely do this so it holds for a while, as long as we are influencing them. So, improvements in government technology. A few local workers in the administration have discovered they claim is a more efficient way to handle documents. Obviously, they do not know what they are talking about, but can it hurt to let them try their new ideas? Could use caution, which is what a careful ruler would do, but that careful is bound to military and not to administration. It's like incorruptible, and he would probably listen to his local workers too. We could gain 0.5 inflation. What would that mean for us? Let's see. We have no inflation yet. We could counter that. Can only reduce it when it's below. So I think we should spare no expenses. That's what he would do. I mean, we're gaining a little bit of influence, but we're a little bit of inflation. I think he's more like progressive in administrative power, so he seizes this opportunity and to develop Kostroma a little bit further. Just a little bit. And he's waiting again for the temples that we could later on develop. Also, what do you think we should go for from the ideas? Oh, another another one was discovered. I think we could go for things like espionage ideas. That would be great for us at the moment. Our rulers are definitely into that. Our ruler and his wife. And we could go religious ideas. That would be something. And maybe something like expansion ideas or administrative ideas would be good too. Probably not that much of military ideas, but if the time would definitely be aristocratic ideas at the moment. Because in the military part, they're not that progressive, I think. Rutsev, oh my god, they're getting so many claims at us, it's crazy. I don't think we need to worry about that. As I said, we have the much bigger army. Oh, look at that. We have the Renaissance coming. Since the 14th century, the wealthy and powerful in the Italian city-states have been patronizing artists and scholars willing to explore the old Roman and Greek societies of their forefathers. As a cultural movement, the Renaissance already encompasses most of the region and has a profound impact on literature, art, philosophy and music. Humanist scholars are also analyzing the society in which they live, comparing it to the ideals of the classical philosophers. At the turn of 1451, Renaissance humanism has grown into a more mature movement, ready to permeate all aspects of society. A new ideal for rulers as well as those who are ruled is spreading quickly, as the early printers can distribute copies of these new ideas. A true Renaissance humanist is an expert on everything from politics and philosophy to art, textual analysis, music and architecture. The Renaissance is now ready to reshape the world to better fit its classical ideas. This changes everything. Ooh, an increasing technology cost penalty, 1% per year up to at most 50%. We can only hope we can embrace this, but I think our current ruler is not the one to be a Renaissance man. He definitely doesn't have the capability for it. Look at our heir is now age 10. He may start to influence his father a bit. So might go a little bit more into the military direction. But his father is still on his mission to improve the manpower back. Now we have the spy network at 100. We can call him back. Could go for counter-espionage. Slow down their network. I don't know. What could we do here in Novgorod? What would be good? Supporting rebels? It would cost us a lot. We cannot afford it. I could fabricate a claim. That is true. On Novgorod, for example. Like, why not? We could use that network to fabricate some kind of claim. We should look at what we would need for Russia. We would need Novgorod. So why not claim Novgorod? Fabricate a claim. Just in case. And we could fabricate another claim. Let's see, what could we need for Russia to be formed? Just in case we're getting into a war. Tver or Yaroslavl? Nothing is owned by them. Ryazan or Smolenskas. Nothing is owned by them there. And maybe we could go for something like here, like Torzok. So we have something on them. And then we should improve more relations with our subjects. Probably they love us, but there's a lot to be done, like for Perm, for example. We could influence the nation. What would that do? Altering their opinion of us by 25, they'll also receive 1 to the monarch power category they are weakest in. Their trust of us changes by 5. 1 time cost for us corresponding to 12 months of their income, a sum presently 17. Yeah, we're not rich enough to do that yet for this particular maneuver, but it would be a good idea to do that if we have the money for it. Now we should improve the relation here with Perm again. Because we love them really much, and they should love us too. This will soon be finished. Let's see, we're waiting for some technology here on temples. Yeah, we should really wait to get these technologies done now, like the administrators in our realm, which is we're at least interested in administration. We should look forward to the technology. So let's have a look. There's some kind of war going on. How is the war going? Like, that's always nice to look at from the outcomes. England is losing. And there's a disease outbreak here. My god. That is a terrible war, probably for both of the... Oh, well, probably only for England. They still have Calais, though. And Scotland is going for Ulster and Kildare. There are more wars going. Denmark is always like a candidate, or Austria. Naples has a war. Oh, it's in the war against England. Castile has a war against Granada, Morocco, and Tunis. And they're like doing fine. Finishing the Reconquista. Let's have a look. It's winter. Look at that. Wow, it's cold here. It's really, really cold. Well, no, it's still winter because it's March. Oh my god. Well, that said, thank you for watching. We're still going for our peaceful course of administration. As I said, I think this fits with how the in-game characters are described here. And we might rival Kazan at one point. They made peace with Nogai now. I think they have lost this territory, I'm not sure. No. They've lost nothing. I think, or they might have even gained this. No. Probably a white piece. Maybe we should try to look into getting the news from all our neighbors a little bit better. As a pop-up, maybe. So, that said, please tell me some stuff that I could improve. Maybe with the estates. Maybe we could work them as well. Maybe the clergy to... I don't know, get some help in transforming our religion here. That would be nice to have. Decrease autonomy. We cannot. And yeah, thank you for watching. Happy gaming to you. See you in the next episode, when we bring peace to Muscovy to prepare for the great conflict with Novgorod. Have a good time. Until next time.